so much where people are like, I need someone to love me like I love everybody else. No, you don't. No, you don't. What you think you're giving is love, but it is in fact not love. It's survival. It's the lack of boundaries. It's the lack of protecting your energy. It's the fact that you don't feel deserving of the own love that you give to other people that's already within you. So you don't need somebody else that's outside of you to give you that love. All you have to do is just learn how to give it to yourself. Learn how to receive the love that you seek, but not from nobody else, from yourself. The love that you desire, the love that you seek outside of yourself has been within yourself and right at your fingertips all of your life. You just don't feel like you deserve it. Or maybe you feel like it's better if it comes from other people because it validates that part of you that never felt lovable to begin with, right? And I'm only saying all this because I used to be that way. Just overgive, overlove. And then when I started to really heal those parts of myself that never felt deserving of love, that never felt like I could receive love from other people, that's when things started to really shift for me, because then I started realizing these people using me. These people taking from me, and I don't even realize it. Like, they're robbing me blind. And I don't even realize it because I don't think that I'm deserving of the love that I think that they deserve. Who am I to tell somebody that this is the kind of love that they deserve? Now, you might think that you're a good lover in all the sorts, but in reality, you're only giving what you think. You're only giving what you think other people need, when really it's you who needs that love. Only you know how to love yourself so deeply, to the point where you're loving yourself so much. And I'm not talking about the superficial. I'm not talking about loving how you look. I'm not talking about loving your personality. I'm talking about loving the parts of you that are flawed. Loving the parts of you that you try to hide from other people. But in reality, people do see those things. You just don't know it because you're too busy trying to hide it, which really comes off as inauthentic. And that's why people might think that you're fake, or that the love that you're giving is not real, because you're not truly showing who you really are. You're just showing the good parts. You just want people to see the good parts. But the part of you that overeats, the part of you that overdrinks, the part of you that's insecure about whatever it is that you're insecure about. But you don't want people to know that, because if it does show to other people the things that you find flawed within yourself, and people see that, it makes you unlovable. It makes you undesirable. That's what you think, though. Meanwhile, other people probably don't even notice it. But because you're in this space of maybe feeling undeserving of love, you try to find things about yourself that could potentially be unlovable. I know that's how I used to be. And I used to overgive, no boundaries, like I said. And then once I got into this space where I'm like, you know what? I'm giving and giving and giving. And then when I think about it, I'm sitting up here with nothing left. I don't have nothing left to give myself. I don't have nothing left to give the people who do love me. And I know they love me and they do give to me. I don't have nothing to give to them because I've been trying to give to somebody else who I think is more deserving of love than I am. How does that even make any sense, right? And it's like, dang, this is really how I used to move. This is really how I used to move in relationships, friendships. And also just the fact of giving people so much grace when you know that you want to be prioritized. So basically that's what this whole video is about to be about. And this is a really hard truth for me, because I'm like, I do love myself. I do love myself. But then when I got deeper and deeper into it, I'm like, wow, there were really actions that I would take that showed that I indeed did not love myself as much as I thought I did. And once you start to recognize your patterns, once you start to realize this is how I'm moving, these are the results that I'm getting, so it's obviously me and not these other people, right? We always love to point the finger like, oh, I did love you, but did you love this person how they wanted to be loved, or did you love them how you thought that they deserved to be loved, or how you thought the utmost form of love should look like to this person? Some people might not value the same things that you value. That's why it's important to get to know somebody first, so that you can know exactly how to love them without it being about you. You know what I'm saying? My nose get itchy every time I make these videos. I don't know why. Like, I promise I'm not on that cocaine. Okay? I'm not doing crack. I promise. My nose just, I don't know if it's just all the wisdom and all the knowledge that I be spitting to y'all, and it makes my nose itch. But having those really strict boundaries with yourself so that you can have those boundaries with other people. So what I mean by that is you have to tell yourself no sometimes, especially when you've been saying yes to all the wrong things. So now you got to say no to all those things, so that when someone presents you with something that you don't resonate with, it's easier to say no. It's easier to hold those boundaries, and not saying have a wall up or anything like that, but to have boundaries so that people don't come in and use you, and so that you know who to entertain and who to leave right at the door. My thing is, when I start feeling like I'm giving too much, I'm a natural giver, but when I feel like I'm giving too much, I'm doing too much, I'm calling too much or texting too much, I'm reaching out too much, whatever, too much, then I realize, okay, this person has not reciprocated. Now it's time for me to just chill. And that's that. But back in the day, and I'm sure a lot of people can relate to this, you would still just keep giving, thinking that the more you give, the more they're going to love you. But in reality, the more you give, the more they're going to take from you. They never loved you. They loved what you could do. They loved what you could give. They loved that you didn't have boundaries. And so now that I realize I've gotten strict around my boundaries, I don't give as much grace to people as I used to. Instead, I give myself that grace. Because what'll happen is you'll get stuck in these perpetual loops of people constantly needing grace. We all go through things, right? When you're in those trying times and you're just trying to navigate, I get it. You're just trying to keep your head above water. I'm not saying you have to call me back every single time. I'm not saying you have to text me every day. But I also think that it's okay to have needs in a friendship, in a relationship, in family relationships, and all those things. If I feel like I need someone, but I can't call you because if I call you, it's too much, I'm a burden, then I understand. Maybe you're not my type of person that I want to rely on. And that's not saying that I hate you, I don't want to be friends with you, I don't see the value in whatever. But I do see the value in myself, and I see that I can't invest, or me investing in this friendship, me investing in this partnership is not serving me. It only serves you. And it only serves you when you want it to. You know what I'm saying? Or like, it only serves you when I can be there for you when you're going through something. But if it's me going through something, and now I'm about to make it about me. I'm a strong friend. Like, I'm not the friend that needs my friends for everything. Like, I can stand on my own 2 feet. Like, I don't need to call my friends for every little thing. Like, I can make my own decisions. I'm very strong in that aspect. And I think that people think, oh, she'll be fine if I don't talk to her for a year. She don't need me anyway. But it's not that I don't need you. I don't need you to fix me, is the thing. But I do need support, respect, companionship. You know, if you're down bad with money, we don't have to go out, my love. You can come here. We can have a glass of wine that I will buy. And I'll get us some food and we can sit in the house and watch a movie. Like, I'm not that type of friend or that type of partner that feels like things have to be this way, this, that, or that, the third, for it to be a partnership. I feel like I hope I'm making sense. I really hope I'm making sense, because it makes sense in my head, but I don't know if this is all coming together in a sensible way. But the whole point that I'm trying to make here is, it's okay to have needs in a relationship. It's okay to want to be prioritized. I'm not saying you have to be my number one. I have to be your number one. I'm not saying you have to call and text me every day for me to know that we have a friendship. But what I will not tolerate is going a year without speaking or seeing each other or checking in or nothing. And then all of a sudden, oh, this is my best friend. I just think that's so weird. I be seeing that on Facebook and I get it, sometimes life's, but sometimes you have to understand, like, friendships are an investment, just like relationships are an investment. And if you're not investing in the right friendships and in the right partners, it will cost you. So that's why I'm so strict. I'm strict about my friendships. I'm strict about my relationships. I'm strict about anything that I'm investing my time into, because if I'm investing my time right now into it, that's going to determine how my future is going to look. And if I've wasted all of this time with people who don't matter, who don't share the same values, morals, or codes of friendship or relationships that I do, or at least similar, we don't have to agree on everything, but if it's something that's non-negotiable, okay, now I understand that I can't invest this amount of time into this friendship because we're not aligned in that way. But I'll still comment on your stuff on Instagram if I see it. I'll still like your pictures. I'll still like your stories. I'll still, show some love in some capacity, but I realize that that's all that it can be. And that's okay. And then there's people where I'm like, okay, we really align. Like, what kind of friendship are we going to be having? What kind of relationship are we going to be investing in together? But if we don't have the same mindset approaching the friendship or relationship, then what's the point, right? If you just want somebody around because you're lonely, that doesn't serve me, because I might be alone right now, but I'm not lonely. You know what I'm saying? I can do for myself. I don't need people. I want people around me. I don't need them. And I think once you start approaching things in that sense, that's where things start to really shift. So, moral of the whole video is, relationships are an investment, whether it's a friendship, family, or partnership romantically, or partnership business-wise, or colleagues. It's all an investment. And if we're not on the same page, if I'm overgiving, if my heart posture is not in the right place when I'm entering these partnerships, relationships, all of these things, then it don't have the potential to grow into something beautiful, into something long term. It'll always be short term, because you weren't investing from a place of longevity, if that makes sense. And to overgive in a relationship is not being a good person. It's not having a good heart. It's not having a big heart. It's having a lack of boundaries. It's having a lack of love for yourself. There's still a disconnect. And I guess it could be a neglect wound, an abandonment wound, a wound that you just never really got to heal within yourself, to the point where it's showing in all of your relationships. Because who we are and what we believe is everything around us is a direct reflection of just that. So the second you realize that, it's the second that everything changes for you. I promise. I used to be that person where I overgave, like I said, and then when I took a step back and I started giving myself the me that I thought I needed outside of me. That's when everything changed, and that's when my thoughts about how I want to approach relationships and friendships changed. I'm not saying, and people say that, oh, it's not that serious, it's just a friendship, but it is that serious. Do you think people who are, think about when you're getting a job, you're on a job interview, and they're asking you all of these questions because they're trying to see if it's worth their time to invest in you, to invest in bringing you on as a partner to make this company better. If you could sell yourself, you could be a wolf in sheep's clothing, which I think a lot of us have encountered. And I know that I've encountered that a lot, especially like in relationships and stuff. But if you can use your discernment there when you are in the vetting process of friendships or relationships, and you let people be who they are, and instead of you trying to give them love already and you just met them, how about you get to know who they are first, so that you know that you can give this love to them, or you cannot give this love to them because they don't deserve it. We give these things to people, we give our precious jewels to people who don't deserve it, and then we're left feeling empty and we wonder why. Well, you never vetted them and you never used your discernment into whether or not they deserved to get these gems or not. You might go to a job interview and you might not get the job, and that's okay. Like, I've had people that I've almost been friends with, but then realized I couldn't be friends with them because I didn't like how they moved. I didn't like how they approached the friendship. I didn't like how they started to feel like I was their therapist because I am a very empathetic friend, and I listen to my friend. Like, they know they can come and talk to me even if they don't need advice. They always know that I'm gonna be there. Like, I'm very supportive. That's just me. But if you don't respect that support, then I have to remove myself. I can't keep overgiving. And a lot of times I step back from friendships. I step back from relationships. I step back when I realize I've given too much. I'm doing too much. They're not reciprocating. They're not understanding the value. They don't see the value in having me around. So what am I supposed to do about that? I'm not going to keep chasing relationships. I'm not going to keep chasing things that people don't want to give me, you know? So it's just so much more liberating when you get to that point and you realize, okay, well, this is just not the person for me. That's fine. I don't hate them, but I can't have them in my orbit. They're not meant to be in my vicinity. They're not meant to be a friend that I see through to the end. I have a friend that I've had since I was probably a year old. From a year to 5 years old, I've known this girl, and throughout every season of life, we have found a way to be intentional with one another. Even if we can't meet up, even if I'm busy, but we're being intentional about the effort that we're putting in to make plans with each other. Even if that means once every 3 months we get to see each other because of our work schedules, or because of, you know, she has a kid and she has a family and all of those things. And I don't fault her for that. I give her grace because I know that her grace has been earned. And we're both being intentional about the effort that we're putting in to sustain the friendship. But if I'm the only one that's putting in effort and I'm also the only one that's giving grace, that's when we just are not aligned. Now that's when you're overdoing it. And I don't want to do that no more in nothing that I have. It ain't even gotta be relationships with people. It's relationships with anything. Just making sure I'm not overdoing it. I'm not overindulging. And I just don't want to be gluttonous. I feel like gluttony can come in so many different forms, not just how much you eat. So, with all that being said, I hope that this resonated with y'all in some kind of way, or that you found some kind of way that you could relate to this, and it helps you realize who's there for you and who's not, who you should be giving grace to, and when you should be giving more grace to yourself instead of extending it so much to other people. And that may be an unpopular opinion, but I don't really care about being popular, okay? So I pray that y'all have the most amazing week ever. I pray that you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like this video, share it with a friend or a not friend, and leave me a comment if you feel called to. And I will see you on the next video.